What's up, Samurai? We are back in Trove, and today we're going to be talking about Fluxion because he should finally be working. I don't think he was working yesterday for me, which is why I didn't make a video about it, but okay, he's finally working, my god. And he is working well. Oh yes, I'm seeing so many people voting on things. That's what I like to see. Now, the funny thing is that because it's only 101 flux, that means we could very easily influence what item is actually gotten. Meaning that we could troll. We could troll and go for the least popular item. Decent enough inventory, but a lot of it just kind of feels like, why isn't this just in his inventory, like in general? Like they should just have Fluxion have all of this. So it seems to go from best to worst. It does actually have a timer for how long before it actually shows up. Of course, the dance pad is going to be the most popular item. Now, I have briefly touched upon this in other videos, but I did want to mention it now that we've got a dedicated video talking about Fluxion the first time he actually works, on the actual live server. So for those of you that don't know, the way that this guy works is during Luxion's week, we can vote on the items that Fluxion will end up having on this weekend. And I guess he's just going to take the top 5 or something. I don't know entirely yet. But on Coruxion's week, this guy actually doesn't have a voting system. Instead, he has a bunch of items recycled from Fluxion. So he's the recycler of the recycler. And he sells those items for an astronomical amount of dragon coins. I don't know why. But anyways, let's cast our little vote right here, because we had to complete that for the little objective. And then it wants me to earn dragon coins. All right, I'll show you guys how to earn dragon coins, because I ain't gonna wait like 5 hours before, before the next dragon coin event or whatever. I mean, let's be real, dragon coins need an overhaul like ASAP. It's one of the worst things in the game that needs to clearly be taken care of. Like, I don't know why the devs refuse to give any love towards the dragon coins, just because the dragon coins themselves, the entire system, we've criticized very, very heavily, because it's one of the only systems that's still way too old. Almost everything has had kind of a modern touch up in terms of like the cash shop stuff and the time gated content and everything like that. And it's all sitting in a pretty nice spot right now, except dragon coins. So we do get a starter box. So, decent amount of free dragon coins out of this guy. I kind of like that. And there's quite a few people actually casting their votes. Like the fact that they got 5,000 on this one, almost 3,000 on this one and stuff. This is where I think that Fluxion, or at least the mechanics of Fluxion, could end up being a game changer. I know I've talked about this many times before, but genuinely, I'm really excited to see whether or not the developers take advantage of this, because could you imagine if we had like an in-game NPC and it was like, oh, vote on the class that you want to see next, or vote on the new biome that you want to see, or even, they could take it a little bit further, broaden their scope a little bit more and just say, oh, would you like to see more biomes? Yes or no? Would you like to see biomes, classes, or this? Yes or no? Or even just vote on them to show what we actually want to have in the game. Or they could even take feedback in game, like direct feedback from events and various, an in-game survey, if you will. And I think that that could be something that they could very, very much utilize, where it would be like, oh, the new event came out. What do you think about it? And then you could rate it from, 5 to 0. And then not necessarily give like your own write-up or anything, but at least they could end up having an in-game statistic to quite literally see what people think of certain things that they end up implementing. I don't know if they care, but I just think that it would be like such a cool system to have it all in game. Like there's just something about that I just find appealing, which obviously is a little bit trickier for them, for the exterior of the game to end up actually being like, okay, well, let's look at the statistics, blah, 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 blah. But let's be real, the only statistics that they end up getting currently is from the Trove forums. And as much as they keep trying to have all of these contests and stuff, not many people use the Trove forums, man. Like, it's just such a weird, obtuse way of going out of your way to end up interacting and competing in competitions, you know? But anyways, I just wanted to have a short video talking about Fluxion and stuff. I also wanted to take the opportunity to talk about my real life situation. It's not like some big deal or anything, but I just thought, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it while we end up grinding a little bit of the event. Kind of like an old school Trove episode, you know, where we talk about like the main thing, but then we also just share a little bit. So my upload schedule, you've probably noticed, has been a bit sporadic lately. And the reason for that is just, I'm just tired. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I've just been super busy, busy, quote unquote. I've been trying to swap my schedule around. So right now, currently, I'm on a night schedule. So I can, you know, I wake up late in the day and then I get to work and then I spend time with the wife before she goes to bed. And then I get to even more work. However, we've got like, you know, our lives in this condo are just a constant barrage of mishaps. And the most recent one is we were loading up our dishwasher and basically found out that it's tilting over when there's too many dishes in it. And so basically I, you know, messaged the people in charge, like, is this supposed to happen? No, it's not. They were supposed to, like, clearly it's not attached to the wall properly, right? So long story short, now I'm trying to push myself further so that I can stay awake long enough for when the guy shows up, because he's going to show up in a couple days and basically is going to show up between 8 to 12 in the morning. So yeah, you know, first world problems. I'm not trying to like unload on you guys or anything, but it has been like, you know, we've been loving our lives here, and I'm very grateful to all of you that, you know, I can make a living from doing YouTube and playing video games and stuff. Like, it's just a dream come true for me, because I always loved video games and I always wanted some form of career in video games, whether it would be creating them or just being a part of them or being a video game tester or whatever. And little did I know, well, here we are doing YouTube. But my point being is that this place is great, but my God, the company behind it has cut so many corners. It actually like pisses me off. And there's just so many things constantly going wrong, you know? And thankfully, we're still under the insurance, so it's not like we have to pay for the dishwasher fix or anything. But I'm just using that as like the primary example, because it's been constant, dude. Like, we always just find like, oh, here's another thing that went wrong. Oh, here's another thing that went wrong. And it's cool that it's all like covered, but at the same time, it's like, this is still taking time out of my day, you know, to deal with it all, because Mariko's busy going to work and everything. And, you know, I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form against her. I'm saying against like the people that created this place. It's like, dude, we paid quite a bit for this to still be going wrong. And it's just, bleh. Again, first world problems. Don't mind me. Younger viewers aren't even going to know what the heck I'm talking about until you get older. And then it's going to hit you pretty hard. Oh, responsibilities. Anyways, I'm just saying that that's kind of what I've been dealing with right now, is basically like I finally got to a night shift where I was comfortable, and then suddenly I had to start setting up an appointment with somebody else in real life, in which case I had to push my schedule even further. Isn't this beautiful, by the way? This storm and everything is all part of the biome overhaul mod that Chronicle made. Absolutely banging beautiful mod. My God, Chronicle, if you're watching, buddy, like, good Lord. Anyways, the bloom is because of reshade. So if I turn reshade off, you can see it's not as bad, but I like having reshade on just because it makes things a lot clearer. Anyways, I'm rambling now. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want, support the channel, sign on, and stay epic.